Is to realize this is now a global problem. There's terrorism that's striking countries all over the world. You take any one day and you'll have, 20, 30 different countries where there are different acts of terrorism.
That was Tony Blair on yesterday's program, warning of the worldwide spread of terrorism. ISIS, meanwhile, posting a video threatening Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg and Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey. Joe Lynn Kent with the story. Joe.
Maria, this video is really interesting. Supporters of the Islamic State have issued new threats against Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg and Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey. In this video, which was posted this week, this group threatens to shut down both social platforms and create 10 new accounts for everyone that is shut down. The video shows a graphic with bullets in both Dorsey and Zuckerberg's head. Twitter and Facebook are not commenting, but both have ramped up their suspension of terrorist accounts after pressure from Washington, D.C. And by some accounts, maybe this is working. A new study out this month by the George Washington University says suspensions typically had a very significant detrimental effect on these repeat offenders, shrinking both the size of their networks and the pace of their activity. Twitter, meanwhile, has suspended about 125,000 accounts since February, or as of February.
Because remember, after the San Bernardino attacks, wasn't it Mark Zuckerberg who came out and tweeted out saying, we're going to protect your data is safe with us?
Yes, he did. He did come out in favor of Muslim Americans as well, and issuing support there, but they also do have pretty significant counterterror teams, as we talked about earlier in the show. So there are different components that are out there to fight this message. The question, though, is this is not just the only way that ISIS recruits, right? There's the dark web. There's other areas of the web that are not apparent to normal everyday users, where they're having more success.
Thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, it's interesting, that study that you referred to, Joe, that there is some indication that if you shut down some of these people's sites, some of their Facebook accounts, that clearly you're going to limit their ability to spread their word. I mean, I think the question is, how much are Facebook doing? You're absolutely right, Maria. Facebook was criticized quite heavily after San Bernardino, because what they initially came out and said, we're going to protect Muslims, they seem to express, more concern for Muslims' sensibilities than they did for sort of the victims of terrorist attacks. And I think they are taking, isn't it right, they are taking many more steps now to actually shut down some of these operations.
There's a new commission the White House has taken the lead on here, and they're trying to create anti-terror content so that when you search things on Google, or if you're looking for this kind of extremist content on Facebook, there's a positive anti-terror message out there. But the question is, we can't really tell whether or not that works, because there's no longitudinal analysis.
I've looked at the FBI site. It's the kind of counter-propaganda site against ISIS and trying to recruit jihadists, and it is ridiculously bad. There is a video game with a goat that they developed. It looks like something from like 1985 that you would make on like an old Commodore. I'm not joking. It's still on there if you want to take a look at it. It's called The Slippery Slope, and it's a goat. It makes no sense anyway.
Yeah, no, they are trying to use games to distract people, but the question is, if you really do want to go out there and find a hook to get involved in this quote-unquote movement, it's pretty easy to do that, avoiding all of that video.
All right, Joe, thank you.
Sure.